What is new, my Mystic crew? So today is the day after Locals. I'm trying a different filming format this week where I give you more information and give you much more of a breakdown of how the event went as a whole, compared to just a little bit of talking over gameplay. Just try and make it a little bit more informative, hopefully a little bit more entertaining for you. Please excuse the hair, not long got out of the shower, so it's all gone all fluffy. So yesterday at Locals was a 5-round Locals. I'm not going to give you all the information now. I'm going to give you some gameplay. We're going to talk about the game a little bit afterwards and during. But what I have done is I've trimmed the gameplay down. So what I mean by that is instead of having all 3 games sped up like 8 times the speed, for example, from game 1, I think you're going to see match 3 or I think actually game 1 you're going to see match 2 and 3 because match 3 wasn't very long. You're not going to see any of game 2, just unfortunately, yeah, and so on and so forth. So you're only going to see small clippets of the games, and go into more detail. And at the end of the video, I'm going to go over the deck profile, show you what I'm playing, because whether you know this or not, this is of course the ongoing series of Can I Pay for a Wedding using Yu-Gi-Oh cards. You'll be pleased to know we are now 3 months into that. I honestly thought I would make about £20-30 a month tops doing this, but at the end of March, at the end of the 3rd month, we've hit £300. So that's absolutely amazing. I'm so thankful for everyone who has helped, bought cards, even got me to sell cards on their behalf and given me a cut like some of the guys have at Locals. I'm so incredibly thankful for everyone who's helped at this stage. With that being said, what we'll do now is quickly go over our first round. So, before that, this video, as always, is filmed at Geek Retreat in Kettering. They help with the recording. They give me the tripod to use every week. They make sure I have a designated space within the store to set up and film. These videos, my videos, would not be possible without the help of the lovely people at Geek Retreat in Kettering. So please, if you're ever in the area, go check them out. It's a fantastic shop and some of the friendliest staff you'll ever meet in your life. But with that being said, now let's move on to the Yu-Gi-Oh gameplay. So round 1, I was against Fire King. Now, I'm going to show you the gameplay footage here, give you the results afterwards. Match round 1, they did the Fire King OTK. It was, sorry, not Fire King, I keep saying Fire King, Snake Eyes OTK. It was very powerful. It's a tier 0 deck. So you're going to about see the gameplay here now of match 2 and match 3, I believe, and then we will get back into it. Now, I did lose the dice roll in this game, so my opponent got to choose if they were going first, second. They chose to go first, and they just went all out. And so, you know, whether I went first or not, I don't think it can make a difference. But you're about to see the follow-up, so here you go. Hope you enjoy. Okay, so here we are. We are in game 2 here. So I go ahead and pitch the Kotal for cost. Kotal then goes ahead and activates its effect, so I can search for a monster that mentions Chimera Fusion, and I searched for the Mirror Sword Knight. We are met with the Droll, which I'm not going to lie to you, it does hurt this deck, but I decided, you know what, I'm activating the Mirror Sword Knight anyway. I'd normal summon, so that's my normal summon gone. I spec out the Gazelle. Now, I can't activate the Gazelle's effect, but I do have Polymerization and Berthamet already in hand, so that ain't stopping us, baby. We're getting that rip. We spec back the Mirror Sword Knight, and then we rip a card during the end phase. He goes ahead and activates Moonlit Chill, but it does target, so we can chain the Kotal to negate, and you know, we're cooking, baby. We still get that hand rip. We set one all the way over there in the corner. Explain what it does here, and we get to rip the card now. So there goes the middle card. There goes the Fenrir. So yeah, he started off with 5 cards in hand. He's used 2. We've ripped 1. So now he's got 3 cards. He's got 3 cards, and during the standby phase, we activate the Mirror Sword to spec out the Berthamet. Berthamet will now trigger to give us that further extensions of Chimera Fusion and the level 4 beast, in this case being Gazelle. So we're absolutely cooking at this point. I couldn't have asked for a better start. Like, the droll hurt. I'm not going to lie, the droll did hurt. But it is what it is. He goes ahead and activates the wanted poster, so you can search as Dear Bellstars. And Dear Bellstars is a dark spellcaster. Just bear this in mind, people. He's got three. He had 3 cards. He's now down to 2 because obviously he drew for turn. So he's got 3 cards left in hand here. He's having a think. He goes ahead, activates the Dear Bellstar, pitching the Imperm. The Dear Bells will obviously allow him to grab a spell or trap. We go ahead and activate Super Poly, discarding of the Master Tau. Master Tau here will trigger, but it can't trigger because we don't have a relevant target. So, cool. But the Dear Bellstars is gone. It's gone to grave. Oh no, we do have target. We have the Mirror Sword Knight. So Master Tau here will go ahead and activate, bringing back the Mirror Sword. So he's left with 1 card in hand because, yeah, he had the Dear Bells, which he had to pitch. So he's got 1 card left in hand, and he's got a face down card that we know is absolutely no threat at all. So he's having to think here, as you can see. Like I said, we've played on the starting turn. Being able to play through 2 hand traps was absolutely amazing. He just had to pass his turn there. He's basically got an open field. We've got Chimera Fusion. We've got the thing in hand. So we go ahead here, go Guardian Chimera to pop 1 on field and draw 2. But this also triggers the Gazelle and the Berthomet, I believe. I can't remember if I discarded of the Bertho. I don't think I did, so I think it's just the Gazelle. So we go ahead, search the Kotal. Give deck to our opponent for cut. Don't know why. We draw 2 and we pop his face down. Then we activate the Chimera Fusion and Grave Tag back. We pitch the Kotal, searching here. I think we just grab the Mirror Sword. Yes, we do. We normal summon, we switch everything to attack, and we just swing, baby. That's game. And yeah, I couldn't be happier with that result. Like I said, just the fact of being able to play through the 2 hand traps at the beginning and getting that card rip was absolutely amazing. That really, really benefited us because, like I said, his starting hand went from 5 down to 2, and that automatically just put the pressure on. As you saw, he pitched the Imperm for the Dear Bells. He had the wanted, so I don't know what he drew for turn out. I'm guessing it was whatever card was left in hand. Or possibly he drew the Imperm for turn, because at that stage, you know, my combo had already gone off, because he could have trained the Imperm with nothing on the field when activated Kotal to still negate the Chimera. So I am assuming the Imperm was to draw for turn. And yeah, technically he bricked, he didn't have a starter. But at the same point, having 2 hand traps should have been enough normally to shut down the deck. It was just unfortunately that the 2 he had and my opening hand, having Polly and Bertho already in hand, just made the draw not matter that much. And then having the coat already engraved to banish for the target in effect just really shut that down. So I was very happy. I think this is the first game I've ever taken against Snake Eyes as well. I think last time we got paired up, he just decimated me 2-0. So the fact that we was able to take one, I literally turned around and said to Isaac, who was sitting next to me, yeah, if I lose now, I'm happy. Yeah, I'll take the 2-1 loss. You know, because at the end of the day, we're playing, you know, Chimera with a very small branded engine. But at this point, we are basically just playing Chimera. And we're against the tier 0 deck. So, yeah, it hurts. It's an uphill battle every time. So, I don't know what we was talking about there. I honestly can't remember. But here we go into game 3. So, our opponent is choosing to go first, of course. They go ahead, activate the bonfire to search a level 4 or lower pyro. And cool, I dropped the droll. You know, they draw me last game. I think it's only fair, but no, he's got the cross out. He shoots the cross out off, calling droll and lockbird, making my droll irrelevant. So, okay. But again, in my eyes, so as you saw there, we went 2-1 against Snake Eyes in round 1. Now, I was over the fucking moon. Like, honestly, I didn't think I'd ever take a game against a player playing it. He is such a talented player and really high caliber player as well. And the fact that it's a tier 0 deck, I was just... It was one of those games where I don't know if any casual players would know this, but maybe somebody who plays in bigger events or whatnot, where afterwards it was that mentally draining. Like, my hands were shaking. I felt actually a little bit exhausted from it. Like, it was mentally draining on me. So I was really like, oh my God, like kind of hoping like round 2 would be not necessarily an easier game, but less to mentally think about. You know, whether it was a case of it was a very one-trick pony deck like Kashtira. I'm not saying Kashtira is a one-trick pony, but you know with Cash exactly what they're going to do. So therefore you can kind of relax and enjoy it a little bit more, or you know, just something else. And like I said, I don't have any gameplay footage for game 2. I did record the game, however, game 1 took nearly half hour. Game 2 was just very, very, very quickly just done. I'll say game 2 was about 15 minutes. I'll say quickly, it wasn't that quick. We had 7 minutes left on the clock for round 3. I was against Dark World at full power, and again, the pilot of it is so elegant with that deck. Their graveyard had about, I don't know, 20 cards in it. They had a field full of monsters, and they still had like 6 cards in hand. This is how great my opponent was at piloting their deck. It was absolutely amazing. If you're on the sidelines watching, it'd be like watching like a painter at work, to put it simply. I know it sounds a bit cheesy, but it was very, very, very... It was just really good. Game 1, like I said, took nearly 30 minutes by itself. I ended up taking that game. He did misplay. He ended his final board on an 3 material Apo, along with a couple of other littler monsters, which didn't really cause that much interruption. And I had Nightmare Magician on the field, along with some other bits as well, because I think this was like turn... No, I won the dice roll, sorry. I won the dice roll. So I went first. I had Chimera, I had Nightmare Magician, and I had something else on the field. I can't remember exactly what now. And Nightmare Magician made him have to dance around that a little bit. I had Kotal in grave, I had Mirror Sword Knight in grave, so if he wanted to negate the Nightmare Magician, I could then negate the Apo. Like I said, he should have gone to Nightmare Unicorn first and just attempted to spin, because it targeted, obviously I would have activated the Kotal, but then he could have comboed off and then already like ate through that Kotal negate at that stage. So it was, you know, the fact that I had Kotal and Mirror Sword Knight in grave, I don't know exactly how it would have played out, but I think it definitely would have given him more of a fighting chance, and that's what he said as well. And yeah, I agree with that statement, that going Apo at that stage was most probably a misplay, which most probably really did hurt his chances of winning game 1, and was able to take that. Game 2, he went first, he set up his board, and I was fucked, to put it simply. There wasn't a whole lot I was going to do there. After siding, I thought, right, I'm going to go first. I'm going to set up my board, because, you know, at this point I was thinking I need to set up my board, make him play for it, make him combo for it. And then tanking me was just telling me he's going to burn me for time. I don't know what was telling me that. I was thinking Dark World traditionally can't burn, however they special summon so much they don't need their normal summon. And I'm assuming there's some burn cards in there somewhere. Something, because it's such a heavy combo deck. He had to have a way to win in time. And, you know, again, this is me using the matchup to my advantage. I thought, if I actually tell him to go first when he's expecting me to go first, first of all, he sided in his go second cards. So, whether that's a weaker consistency, less hand traps to play through, whatever the case might be. There's that. But also, and again, I don't feel the greatest for doing this, but it is a case of, you know, I was there to try and win. I'm getting testing for the regional. I wanted to push myself as a player about how I could win rather than just, you know, oh, look at what my deck can do. And like I said, I know the combo. I don't know the combos, but I know it's very heavy combo orientated. So I chose for him to go first. We had just under 7 minutes on the clock, and my mindset was he is either A, going to just swallow up all that time comboing off, trying to set up his board, and we will either draw because time will get called. B, I will have a short amount of time to try and play through his board and get any form of damage off and then win in time. Or C, he's going to rush that combo or push through to the point where his end board isn't going to be as strong as it could be if he had the time to do the full combo, as well as obviously signing in those go second cards. And he ended on a, what's that, mutt breaker, the Link 2 Fiend thing with a Babushka in defense mode. And he passed there. I managed to normal summon Gazelle. Gazelle being a beast, Babushka being a fiend. I super polyed them away into the Chimera, hit the Chimera rip, and I went full combo. Managed to get my OTK boy out, the Chimera Illusionist Beast, and take that game 2-1. Now, okay, so here we are for round 3, and this is game 2. I'm already 1-0 up at this stage against the Runic Bestials. Game 1, I was, I'll be honest with you, I don't really remember much of game 1. Maybe I need to take some more notes moving forward. But yeah, this is game 2. I won the dice roll, so I went first in game 1, so now it's our opponent's turn. Playing Runic Bestials, I'm assuming he's going second. I just showed Isaac my hand there, because me and Isaac were up there all day Friday, deck testing, tweaking the decks and whatnot, and so it's just nice to see. So we go ahead, we imperm the, I don't know what this card's called. I'm going to call it the hugging one because it's saying hug something. I don't know. But he ditches the Rebellion to search the Magnumut, then he activates the Magnumut to spec itself, and then he can add a dragon during the end phase. As you can see there, he's got that ghosty dogwood thing. He goes ahead and activates the Runic Tip, so I banished the top card of my deck, which was a cross out, which honestly I was okay with. You do tend to find with stun decks like this, they don't really run massive hand traps, you know, blowout cards as such. So I was okay with losing the cross out for the draw. Obviously, I dropped the imperm, which did hurt my opponent. He's got the Bull Drake there in the end phase, and he passes turn. So we know he's got the Bull Drake. We know he's got the thingy. So he goes ahead and drops it. So it basically says I cannot special summon. Or if I do special summon, he gains life points. He gains life points. So I chain the Super Poly, fuse off his 2 monsters into thingy, just so he doesn't gain the life points. So we've gone into Predapant Dragostepelia, which honestly it's not one I go into often, but just the fact of having the Dark and the Fusion, which the Bestial line gave us. I activate the Harpy's Feather Duster just to get rid of the Fountain, because the Fountain obviously allows him to play the quick plays. We clear his field of his Bestial Bull Drake and swing for 1900. I pass turn to him, so he doesn't gain any of the life points, which is great. He's in a top deck situation. I have a Monster Negate on field along with my combo starter. So I'll go ahead and activate during the standby phase. But he's having to think about things, what he wants to do. Like I said, I absolutely love playing this guy. Normally, when I play him, he's on Trap Tricks. He's just seeing that it's a quick play spell, so he's fine to go to standby phase. I activate the Mirror Knight to spec out the Baphomet. Baphomet effect to grab the level 4 Beast and the Chimera Fusion. like I said, we've got our opponent in the top deck situation, which for this sort of deck, it is not great, especially with a monster in the gate already there, already on field. But he doesn't have a choice. He activates the flashing fire, I want to say this one's called, and he specs out Jerry. So it's our turn. He went to activate Jerry. We activate the quick effect in the gate. So Jerry's just a body on the field at this stage. And we drew Branded Fusion. At this point, it's all over. We send the Invader of Darkness with Thingy to go to the Albion. The Albion pitched to Kotal to shuffle back the Albaz itself. And we get the Mirror Jade out. Bear in mind, we've still got Chimera Fusion. We've still got the Gazelle in hand, so we go ahead and do that as well. Go into the Burfo. The Burfo specs, flourishes the Master Tau. Master Tau triggers to spec back the there you go. So sorry, the Burfo I sent for the fusion, spec back the Invader of Darkness, and then the Master Tau as the next chain. Spec back the Mirror Sword, and that is game right there on field. So at this point now we are 3-0. So you just saw the video there, game 3, where I was against Runic Bestials. I took that game 2-0. Again, very nice guy. I absolutely love playing against him. He's very informative. He takes his time to explain all of his cards. He fully understands. Make sure that you understand the matchup. He makes sure that you understand his deck, how it works, how it plays. An absolute testament to what the Yu-Gi-Oh community should be, and and just how to conduct yourself. Really, overall, he is an absolute amazing guy to play against, and again, I cannot wait to play against him again. Do apologise about the shaky cam work. I am doing this all on my phone, and I am trying the new backdrop that I'm using, but obviously there's still bits around it, so I do apologise about the shakiness. At this point, I realised, and I can't believe it took me 3 games a day to realise this, that, like I said, on Friday, I had Isaac over, and we were doing testing all day. I started by taking the Super Polys out of the main and put them in inside just to see how the deck performed without the Super Polys. And honestly, it performed okay, but I just really missed having them. It does feel kind of like a win more card, but as you just saw in that deck, in that game, Super Poly really, really came in handy just to clear my opponent's field. And that wasn't the first time I did it during game 1 as well with him. Same thing, I sucked up a Bestial and his fusion monster to go into Draco, the Predaplant thing. So I moved them back to the main. I cut some space in the main for them. However, I did not put any cards back in the side, so I am running a 12 card side deck. The cards I'm missing are what I wanted to add back in was the dimensional barriers, and they were there just purely and simply for Voiceless Voice, because you can call Ritual. But I forgot to add them, so we have a 12 card sideboard, which I thought, great, that's going to bite me in the ass somewhere. But so far we're 3-0. I'm on top of the world. I checked in with Isaac, see how he was doing today, because like I said, we have been testing together. He's also playing Chimera, but a different build. He is leaning more on the branded engine, whereas I'm leaning more on the illusion monsters. And he won his first 2 games, but he drew his 3rd game. So still 2-0-1. You can't be mad at that result at three matches in. When we go to Peterborough, because Isaac's coming to Peterborough with me, so is a couple of other guys. Hopefully we get the same sort of results there. At this point we took a break. It's always nice to have a break. At the larger events you don't get breaks. You just have to kind of, like, if your game finishes early enough, nip to the loo or go grab a drink at that stage. So it's really nice to get a break at Locals. So we had a break, we had a little chat. Sold my Snake Eyes Poplar, whatever the hell it's called, that I pulled. It's really dropped in price, selling on eBay for £9. So I sold it for £7.50. Not a lot of money, but it still goes towards the wedding fund. And then we moved to round 4. So round 4 against, like I said, arguably one of our best players. And to be fair, so was round 5. I just really didn't have an easy day with matchups, but as me and the store owner were joking about, like, if I want an easier matchup, I've got to lose a game. You know, not easier as in like I'll guarantee to win, but I mean like just easy. I just wanted a game where I could shut off mentally and just let the deck does what it does. You know, kind of let the deck autopilot me. But no, I had to stay mentally with it because our next opponent was on Unchained. I think I've got game 3 to show you. Game 1, he just went full combo, just blasted through it. I won the dice roll. I went first. It did not matter. I tracked every negate and hand trap I had at him, and he just went, yeah, cool, okay, let me just keep going. And it was like, oh shit. He just played through everything. And then game 2, I somehow miraculously took a win. I believe he bricked a little bit. I'm not entirely sure. But, you know, at this point, I was under the impression that my winning streak was over. I thought I was going to go 3-1 at this stage. But let's take a look at game 3 of this match. And let's see if my prediction of going 3-1 was now correct, or if we keep the dream alive. So here we go. We're against the Unchained game. Like I said, I believe this is game 3. We are shuffling up. This might be game 2. I honestly can't remember. I believe it's game 3. Like I said, I won the dice roll. We are 1-1 at this stage if this is game 3. And we are about to kick off here. So I believe my opponent is going first. Yep. So they set one. Activate. I don't know the names. I do apologise. I should know these names by now, but I don't. I know that's something twins, which basically blows up a trap to get the level 6 guy out, or you can blow up the card and then the trap card brings the level 6. He goes into the blue wolf. Activate something here to spec a monster farm deck, I believe. Does it spec or does it add? I think one adds the monster, one adds a monster, one sets a spell or trap. I drop the droll. Now, yeah, this is game 3. I've sided out Ash. I think I kept one in there for a cross-out target, but I sided out the other 2 just because of the other games where he just played through Ash so easily. I thought droll would be the better option. Told me after the game it is not. Droll does very, very little against Unchained. So if anything, it's just putting me at a disadvantage by having one less card in hand. Now, I have Nibiru in hand. I am waiting for the 2 level 6 bodies to be on the field at the same time, because I know that's when he's going to overlay to the DDD monster. That stops me from being able to special summon, and that is what fucks me up every time. That is what fucked me up game 1, and that's what's fucked me up in the past. And here you go, look, there's one of the level 6s back out. Now they're activating something. They've added the other level 6 back to hand. This whole combo line gets these level 6s out pretty quick and easily. You're showing the level 6 to bounce, and that's when I drop the nib. Like I said, I cannot afford to let him overlay, so I have to drop the nib token, the nib right there. I chained it to the summon just because I did not want to go on the open game state. I let him resolve whatever he was doing here, and it turned out that the nib token has 4,000 attack, 6,000 defense, so it's quite a fat nib token. Honestly, my plan was, because I think I've got Super Poly in hand as well, my plan was to Super Poly the nib token and Nibiru away into Garura, but instead he just links it off into the red dog. The red dog then links off my Nibiru into the blue dog. He sets 2, he passes. So we draw for turn here. We go straight to the end of battle phase. We activate evenly matched. He tells me again that, honestly, it doesn't do much against his deck, because he activates that trap, which allows him to pop both cards, which then triggers a bunch of his graveyard stuff and basically just dances around me evenly. Fair enough. he did well. He targeted something. I can't remember exactly what he targeted here, but I called by the target, so he's just left with the blue dog. We go ahead and normal summon the gazelle. The gazelle activates. He says, yep, that's fine. So I grab the Chimera Fusion. We go ahead here. I have a little think. I activate Super Poly, ditching the Chimera Fusion. Fusion off both monsters into the Chimera. So Gazelle Chainlink 1, Chimera Chainlink 2 for the hand rip. We go ahead and add Kotal. Kotal discards, grabbing the Mirror Sword Knight. And we add back the Chimera Fusion. We activate Chimera Fusion, fusing off the Chimera and the Mirror Sword Knight into the Baphomet Fusion, which now triggers, dropping... I believe I dropped Master Tau here. Yep, dropping the Tau, and Tau now triggers, specking back the Mirror Sword Knight in defense mode. I give the deck a little shuffle. I move to the end phase. We rip a card. So now our opponent has one card in hand plus whatever they draw. We have the Kotal target negate. We have the Mirror Sword Knight monster negate. In the standby phase, we activate Mirror Sword Knight to spec out the Baphomet, which then triggers, grabbing us the Gazelle and the Chimera Fusion ready for follow-up. So we have two negates. We have a on-field monster negate and we have a target negate. We have the Chimera in grave and we have the Baphomet on field. So if Baphomet goes to the grave, we can banish the Chimera to spec it back, just to keep the Mirror Sword Knight and the Kotal alive. Our opponent's looking for his grave. Like I said, 2 cards left. It's a combo heavy deck. I don't know what he can combo here with 2 cards, but he normal summons 1, picks up the extra deck, has a little look through, goes straight into the Typhoon. Very nice. Can't argue with that. But I know that as long as I keep Bertha on the field, as soon as he activates the Typhoon effect to bounce something, I can just go straight ahead here and Kotal to destroy, but he just swings into the Baphomet. He's having another look from my grave just to see what exactly he has to try and play through. I believe he moves to end phase here. So during the end phase, I banish the Chimera to spec back. I honestly can't remember what I spec back. The Mirror Sword Knight, which I now activate during standby phase. This is another misplay I did. I thought I summoned the Mirror Sword Knight during my turn, but it wasn't. It was during his end phase. So I grab the Bertho, we get the Chimera Fusion and whatnot. We go ahead, we activate the Chimera Fusion, fuse 2 in hand, 1 on field into the Guardian Chimera. Now it doesn't trigger because of Typhoon, however it is big enough to be over. But everything else activates. So as you just saw, miracles happen. I took the game 2-1 and my God, what a game. I made some mistakes in that game, as they pointed out afterwards, and so did another player, siding out the Ashes rather than siding out the Drolls was maybe a mistake. Well, maybe it was a mistake because Droll does not hurt that deck whatsoever. But at the same point, for the mistakes I made, I still managed to take the game, and that was absolutely incredible in my eyes. It does go to show that you can make some mistakes. I should have been punished for it. I should have been punished a lot harder than what I was. But you made me fucking work for that win, and I feel so lucky to get that win. Moving into round 5 now, and it's the last round of the day. I was the only person who was 4-0 at this stage. Which meant my opponent was getting paired up, I was getting paired down, but it did not feel that way. We got paired against one of the guys who I am selling Yu-Gi-Oh cards on behalf of. He's been on the channel before. He plays Kashtira. He won the last OTS we held at our store. This was going to be no easy game at all. If anything, this most probably was going to be one of, if not the hardest game of the day. Not only was I against a high caliber player, after 5 rounds of Yu-Gi-Oh, you start to feel it. You for people going, oh, you're just sitting there playing cards. Yeah, you're just sitting there playing cards, but it takes a toll mentally, even physically. If you tried sitting down all day without moving, it starts to hurt a little bit. But honestly, I was exhausted. I lost the dice roll and I thought, great, here we go. So close to the perfect day, so close to the 5-0. Looks like I have to take 4-1 because I thought there's no way I'm winning this game. He went first and I beat him. I took game 1 and fantastic. Game 2, he chooses to go first because I won and he bricked. Well, sorry, just to go back to game 1. He was maining Dimensional Shifter, which hurts, and Summon Limit. Tell by the face, Summon Limit. Summon Limit, for those of you who do not know, you can only summon 2 monsters in a turn. Monsters you have already summoned that turn already counts towards it if Summon Limit is flipped after those summons. So he waited for the optimal time where I activated Chimera Fusion, which would be my third summon, and then he flipped it. So Chimera Fusion resolved without effect. So not only did I not get the summon, it also wasted card in hand. However, a little bit of grinding because Summon Limit restricts him as well. So as long as I kept bodies on the field and illusion monsters can't be destroyed by battle, I was able to grind down a little bit, and I got Nightmare Magician out. And everyone who plays illusions or plays Chimera says, do not play Nightmare Magician, it's not good. I love him. I've got the game out of him. I want to get the QCR version of him. It is one of my favourite cards of all time, and is very quickly becoming, I'd say, easily top 3 favourite cards of all time. I absolutely love the card. I don't care if it's not optimal, whatever. Sometimes you have to play what you enjoy, and I enjoy this card because he has 3 effects. The first of which is an illusion monster, which means he cannot be destroyed by battle, nor can he destroy monsters by battle. But any damage inflicted to you or your opponent still counts. So there's that. Number 2, if he is involved in the battle, whether he's the one attacking or he gets attacked, I take your monster. It becomes my monster, not just to the end of the turn, but permanently. It's mine. And then number 3, and that's not once per turn. So if you decide to swing into it with 3 monsters, I'm taking all 3. And then the third and final one is if any of my other monsters declare an attack, or if any of my other monsters get attacked, I get to pop a card on the field. Non-targeting pop, and it can be any card. So I'll put him in attack. I put my other monster in attack. I swung with my other monster to take 400 points of damage to myself. But on doing so, I popped Summon Limit and then went off in main phase 2. And then took game 1. So Nightmare Magician gave me that win. Without Nightmare Magician, I was not out in Summon Limit and he would have ground me down. But game 2, he goes first, he bricks, he sets 2, he passes. I was over the moon. This was my time. I was going to go 5-0, beating some of the best players our store has to offer. And I fucked up. He had Cashier Ephemeral on the field as well. I activated an effect on my turn, on his turn, which he could activate Ephemeral too, and then banish the monster face down. Cool. I fucked up. Because I should have waited till my turn, because then I could have activated something else and be free. But no, I decided to activate something during his turn to fuck me. Get to my turn, activate monster effect. He banishes it face down, fucks me over. So I fuck up. He goes, still bricking, I go again. I have the imperm set in the column where Summon Limit is, because he flipped over Summon Limit. So he's got Kashtira, he's got Summon Limit, I've got imperm. I activate the imperm. I take out the Summon Limit and the Kashtira. That I am free to full combo. And what does this fucking idiot do? I play my... Okay, so it turns out that it was actually game 1 I had recorded, not game 3. So I've already gone in depth over what happened in game 1, so I'm not going to go over and show you that footage again. I'm just going to make this very quick. Game 3 was a fucking grind. We went back and forth, and in the end, your boy took it. I won. I took the game 2-1. Literally, I think if I was capable of, I would have done a backflip. That's how happy I was. The best record that I've ever gotten on a 5-week local was 3-2. We have Peterborough in 3 weeks. We have a regional in 3 weeks. This was a deck I wanted to test to see if there was any last minute tweaking that needed to happen, like maybe putting Nibiru in the main. And I went 5-0 on one of our biggest locals. We had 18 players. I went 5-0. And like I said, I had a tier 0 format game 1. I had Dark World full power, full combo game 2. I had a stun deck game 3. I had 2 of the best players for game 4 and 5 on fucking Vanquished Soul and Unchained. I've gone up against 5 amazing, fantastic players, all playing really good, really competitive decks. I feel lucky I won any of them, let alone 2. But somehow I took all 5. And that's not me boasting. I was lucky. Luck was on my side this week. And I am thankful for all of my opponents, because every time I play against any of these guys, especially the last 2, because of how much we talk, I always learn something. And I am so thankful for my opponents. I'm so thankful for Geek Retreat Kettering for putting on these amazing locals each week where we all have a laugh, we all have a joke. It is so welcoming and friendly. I have made some really good friends there. And honestly, I couldn't be happier with not only how I performed, but how my friends performed there. Isaac managed to go 3-1-1 in the end. He had 3 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. Which for Isaac, that's his best record on a 5-week as well. His best record previous to that was 3 wins, 2 losses, so he's had a draw extra. But this was his first week on his deck. So, yeah, my son was there this week. He did have a good week. Normally he goes pretty well. Normally he goes 3-2, 4-1. This week he went 1-4. It was a fantastic week. I couldn't be happier. The fact that I went 5-0 as well was just a cherry on top. It's really shown me that my deck can do what I want it to do. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you the deck list. I'm going to pause the video here and jump over to the deck list part of this video. And then we will wrap it up for another week. We've got 2 weeks left to Peterborough. I don't think I'm going to change this list for next week, other than adding the 3 cards to the side I was missing. And hopefully I will see you guys next week. Hopefully you enjoy this video. I've gone for a different style. Please do let me know if you prefer this way to the other way. I feel this is much more relaxed, but also more informative at the same time. However, you are looking at my mug a lot more, so hopefully the information's worth it. But I will catch you guys next week after the deck profile, of course. Have a good one. Okay, so here we are for the deck profile part of the video. A lot of these ratios shouldn't be too different to what anyone's expecting. So starting off, of course, with 3 Chimera Fusion. Everyone can agree this is at 3. I've seen some people play it at 2, which I find a bit weird, but I think 3 is the best. We have the 3 Cornfield Cotal, and yes, they are the super rares from the new ATS. Unfortunately, our store doesn't have any yet. They are due in this week, so I'll be picking up this week's pricing later. We are on the 3 Mirror Sword Knights, which again, no one can argue is the right ratios, along with the 3 Gazelles. We are on the 2 Big Wing Baphomet and the 1 Master Tau. So again, everyone agrees on these ratios. I think this is pretty generic. The one thing I do, which a lot of people don't, is the 1 Nightmare Magician. But like I said, if it was not for this, I would not have outed Summon Limit, and I would not have taken the game. So I run 3 Super Polys in the main, because Why would you not? To put it simply, you cannot respond to this card. In my opinion, this should have been banned in branded format. The fact it's still hit in the game at 3 is absolutely amazing for me. But if I was against it, I'd be pissed it's still in the game. We are just running 2 hard copies of Poly. We don't run the Edge package. Like I said, this is a 40 card build. I had to make the space somewhere, and that was the package I liked least. But I see the bonus of having Poly in the deck. I do keep it at 2 because I don't ever see the issue with having it. Now I've said that, watch me brick on it next week, but still I think it's always worth running at 2. We have our 2 Falling of Albaz. When the new support in the next set drops, I will be dropping Albaz down to 1, same as I will be dropping Branded Fusion down to 2, I believe, and then just putting in the other 2 cards for the support up to a 42 card build. We have our 3 Branded Fusion with our 1 ulti because I'm yet to replace anymore. So if you have an ulti Branded Fusion for sale or for trade, please do let me know. I might be interested. But like I said, I think I'll be dropping this down to 2, so I think I'll only get 1 more. We have our Ash Blossoms, our Droll and Lockbirds, and our Infinite Impermanence all at 3. Then we have our Crossout Designators and our 1 Crossout target of Effect Veiler. Again, it's controversial. A lot of people can see the appeal of Effect Veiler over Infinite Impermanence, because if you draw the Effect Veiler off Guardian Chimera, it's usable. If you draw Infinite Impermanence, it's not. You have to set it. However, I don't like Effect Veiler, to put it honestly. At this stage, I'm really struggling to see the benefit of it. It is just in there as a cross-out target. Yes, I have used it in a few games this week, and yes, it has had its moments. However, there's nothing I would want to drop from my deck to give it more of a spotlight. And then the 40th card is Called by the Grave. So that is our 40 card build. I really like it. In regards to the extra deck, we have our 2 Chimera, the King of Phantom Beasts, and we're still on 2 Berthomets. Again, I know a lot of people will only run this at 1. However, I definitely see the value of running it at 2. We have our 1 Illusionist Beast, which is that OTK machine, our 1 Guardian Chimera, and our 1 Magnum the Reliever. I have summoned this thing once in about 3 weeks. Honestly, for the Peterborough the Peterborough Regional Qualifier, I'm thinking about dropping this for Guilty Gear Freed, just as a super poly target against our opponent's SP and Baron boards. In regards to the branded lineup, we have Rimburn the Striking Dragon, we have Albion the Branded Dragon, we have Lubellion the Searing Dragon, and Mirrorjade the Iceblade Dragon. The last 3 are most probably going to get dropped from the deck when I trim down that branded package. So at that point, Magnum will most probably end his way back into the deck, along with 2 other possible super poly targets, such as Starving Venomy Dragon, and then just something else. I don't know if it'll be another Guardian Chimera at that stage, or to be honest, it'll most probably be another Guardian Chimera. But speaking of super poly targets, we have our 1 copy of Mud Dragon of the Swamp, our 1 Predaplant Dragostapelia, which actually put in work this week, our 1 Garura, which only came up once this week, and then of course our 1 Typhoon, which I have not summoned in a couple of weeks, but it's there if our Gazelle gets shut down going second and we're stuck on nothing else. At least we can stick a big body on the board. In regards to the sideboard, I'll show you what I've got, all 12 cards, because like I said, I did forget to put in 3. We have our 3 copies of Cosmic Cyclone, 1 copy of Harpy's Feather Duster. That is our back row hate. We still have to respect Labyrinth. We still have to respect a lot of other back row orientated decks. And even in the Fire King builds of Snake Eyes, Cosmic just works so much better. We have our 3 copies of Nibiru, because a lot of decks are playing into Nibiru these days, and it is really, really good. We have our 3 copies of Evenly Matched. Again, it's great for going second if you want to side it, just because it gives your opponent, if nothing else, it baits out an opponent's negate, which then frees you up to do whatever you need to do in main phase 2. And then we have Invader of Darkness and the End of Anubis, both of which came up today. This shut down our Runic player in game 3, as you saw, and this shut down our Unchained player. Between this and Droll in game 2, it really hurt to the point where we took that game. And like I said, sadly, I only have 12 cards in here, but the other 3 will be Dimensional Barrier. So I hope you enjoyed the deck profile of this video, and I will see you guys next week. I will upload the deck profile to TikTok like I normally do, so I hope you guys over on TikTok enjoy this. And if you're interested in seeing the full YouTube video, come check out my YouTube channel. It's Mystic Frost 86, same name on both platforms. So if you're on YouTube, come check out TikTok, and vice versa.